So let's talk a little bit about tools. And one of the reasons I really want to focus on this is because finding the right tool can feel like you're doing work, can feel like you're building your agency, but a lot of the time, spending a huge amount of effort, of resources on finding the exact perfect tool is just a complete waste. Okay. So at my agency, we minimize the number of tools we use. We don't use very many. We get used to the ones that we like, that do what we want. We get good at them, and we don't tool hop. Okay, that's probably one of the biggest time wasters I see all the time. Is some new tool come out and people rush to go and try it out and use it, and maybe it's a little bit better, maybe it's a little bit less expensive, but unless it's significantly better or significantly less expensive, it's just going to cost you time to switch over to that other tool. So far in my agency, we have switched tools exactly 3 times, and that's in the past 10 years, okay? And I'll talk about which of those tools we introduced after the fact. So the message here, if you're using a tool, it's doing the job you want that tool to do, and it's priced at a point where you're happy to pay for it, stop looking for new tools, okay? Spend that energy prospecting, finding new clients, improving your systems, improving how you use the new tool. A new tool that does the job slightly better will not save you as much as getting your SEO processes dialed in, will not save you as much money as growing your revenue. So here we go. The tools that we use, number one, of course, Google search. Now we're going to use Google search. When a new client comes in, we're going to do the site search to see how big their site is, to see how big their competitors are. We often are going to use people also ask questions. Those are the biggest things that we're going to use on Google search. And of course, we have the Google Search Console. Now, Google Search Console we use a lot less on local SEO. This is mainly a non-local SEO tool, but we still use it for local SEO. It's helpful. We can pull indexing reports. We can pull the core web vitals. Sometimes we grab the performance stuff, but frankly, I don't care that much about the performance metrics on Search Console because I only care about the Google Business Profile if I'm looking at local SEO. Okay, now, of course, ChatGPT. Primarily, we use Claude. If you prefer ChatGPT, that's fine. We primarily use Claude because Claude 4 Sonnet subjectively writes better content even than ChatGPT 4.5. I said there are 3 tools that we started using, that we shifted, that we changed. ChatGPT Claude is one of them. Obviously, the first thing we did with it was write content like everyone else in the SEO world, and it has grown from there to be more and more important to how we run the SEO agency, how we generate results for clients. All right, high level. This is the second tool that we switched to, okay? And the reason we did that is high level replaced 15 or 20 other tools. So it was a massive amount of savings in terms of how much money it saved us. Like high level is $300 a month. I think it saved me well over $2,000, probably close to $3,000 a month for the other tools that it was able to replace. Plus, it makes implementing things much easier. Everything is done on one platform. We don't have Zapier running back and forth. So yes, high level is the second tool that we have shifted and hopped over to using it. Okay, the fifth one, Page Optimizer Pro. Page Optimizer Pro helps us optimize content for the target keywords that we want to actually rank for. We won't use this for all of the content we produce. We'll primarily use this almost every time for the GVP landing page, and then for core services or secondary categories. Beyond that, we won't use this nearly as much. Back before ChatGPT Claude, we used to use Page Optimizer Pro a lot more because content was expensive. So we wanted to get every inch of topical relevance out of content that we could. Now, with AI written content that's human edited, it's often faster and easier to generate more content than to use Page Optimizer Pro. So this is primarily going to be used on our core pages, the super important ones, maybe 3, 4, 5 of them per client, not every page like we used to do. Okay, Screaming Frog. This is an excellent tool. It will run through and crawl a website and just give you a ton of information about that website. You'll see lessons later on where I use Screaming Frog quite a bit. Now, why do we use Screaming Frog? ChatGPT and Claude both claim to have the ability to crawl websites. Well, every time I've tried letting the AI tools crawl the website, they have failed miserably at delivering a reasonable analysis. It seems like the methodology that the AI tools use to crawl websites is significantly different than how Google or Screaming Frog crawls it, so they aren't fully capturing the idea of the website. But when we use Screaming Frog, we can shoot all of those data files over to Claude, ChatGPT, and ask them to do the analysis. Great news about Screaming Frog is that it is completely free up to the first 500 URLs of a domain. If you're doing a lot of work with websites that are bigger than 500 URLs, you should very easily be able to afford it because you have some big clients who are hopefully paying you a lot. Most local websites are not 500 URLs, and most shouldn't be 500 URLs. And the last one is LeadSnap. This is the third tool that we switched over to using. The big thing that LeadSnap does is citations. It also does rank tracking. Now, it does have some CRM, GBP management features. We don't use that as much. We primarily rely on high level for that, just because there's a couple of things that LeadSnap is missing that high level does that we really want. I'm hoping LeadSnap comes with an update to add these couple of features. Then we wouldn't use high level anymore. Everything would be done on LeadSnap. But what's great about LeadSnap with the GBP management, it does local rank maps. This is a tool we switched to from the local dominator. If there's other lessons here that mention local dominator, know that that's a tool we used to use. We don't anymore. We use LeadSnap. The big advantage of LeadSnap over local dominator is not just the GBP management tools, it is the citations. Okay, for $20 a month, LeadSnap has API connections to 60 or 70, I call them super citations, Apple Maps, Bing for Business, the BMW navigation system, all of these really critical big boy citations that LeadSnap has the API connection to. $20 a month, you get all of them and you're done. You never have to worry about citations again. Well worth it. That citations feature is why we switched over to LeadSnap.